Yo, what up? This is T Money, and you are now watching the T Money podcast joint featuring Ciara Ross.
Hey.
What up, C? What's happening?
What up, though?
Let me tell you something. So this right here is. I want to ask you guys a question. Is this purple or burgundy? Just tell me on your cell phones or your laptop or your TV. Is this purple? She's telling me we're wearing the same color. I don't even know if that matters. Truth be told, I don't even know.
What I said. See how people start lying in the public?
But we're wearing the same color. We're on the same page because we family and love is love, right? Yo, check this out. So today we have an extraordinary guest. It's my homie Stromy, Main Macaroni, Bet Your Bottom Dollar, Scream and Holla. It's my man Albert Sola. Everybody give it up for Albert.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Albert Sola is a music industry lifer, attorney at law. How you doing today, bro?
Doing good, T. Thank you, Ms. Ciara Ross. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
I understand. So you got your Miami Vice thing going on. You got the shirt unbuttoned a little bit.
A little bit. I just buttoned up one. So.
It's all good. I'm feeling that.
Chest hair
That's
out.
that money. That's that
Hair
money.
out.
That's right. The chest is.
We don't have any. Look. Come on, guys. Come on.
So listen, for those of you who don't know this gentleman, I'm gonna school you. He is representing some popular people like E40, Havoc, Brian Westbrook from the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't even like to say that out of my mouth. Philadelphia Eagles. I'm a Giant fan, by the way, just so you know. Big Noy, Carmega. The list goes on and on. Myself, so he's been doing it for quite some time, man. You know what I mean? So I have my first question to you. Okay, my first question to you is, most kids don't grow up wanting to be attorneys. I mean, most people don't. You know what I mean? And they don't grow up wanting to be in the music business on that level. They always want to be artists or producers. Or did you ever aspire to be a producer, or did you just come out the womb wanting to be an attorney and represent?
No. You know what? I love music.
Okay.
Ever since I was little, I love music. I was explaining to you guys how, when I was at school at recess, I had my headphones on, always hip hop. I loved hip hop ever since I was little. My thing was music. I just loved listening. I loved listening to the beats and how the rhymes were constructed and how the music came out. And everything else kind of just fell into place later. But my first love it's always music.
Right.
Always.
Wow.
Always music.
Always music.
So what was the first form of music you loved? Did you like hip hop, pop, R&B?
Hip hop, 1,000%. And I grew up on the West Coast, right? So I would listen to, had a lot of Too Short on rotation.
Right, you're from California,
yeah,
right? Correct?
Yeah. Well, I'm originally from Peru,
okay,
South America, and I grew up in Southern California, and I loved West Coast hip hop. Listened to it all the time. Everything from Dre, of course, right? You have everything, all the LBC guys, Snoop Dogg, Warren G.
Right.
When I was really, really, really young, it was a lot of Too Short. I loved the way his flow was. I loved his rhymes. Now, didn't say everything appropriate, right? But it was still, for me, I love the music and the way that they put the beats together. So.
And you were just in here rhyming DJ Quick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's let the audience know. So he was in here doing a DJ Quick song, and I was really taken aback by the fact that he was actually rhyming.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Albert. You the man, kid.
DJ Quick. It was Tonight. One of my favorite songs, by the way.
Peace out to DJ Quick, the whole DJ Quick crew, and everybody out there and on the coast. You know what I mean? But listen, it's really difficult. Now we're going to kind of tap into your attorney side. So it's kind of difficult for anybody, whether they rap, whether they they sing, whether they have acting skills. It's very difficult for them to gain any measure of success in entertainment. Especially if you're coming from nothing. So and I know you've been successful, as an attorney, and you started your Beat Street Music Group. Okay, so we'll get into that in a minute. But so tell me, what were some of the challenges you faced, and how did you overcome them as an attorney, as one who represents clients?
Well, I started out. That's a great question. I started out at Cadwalader, which is a big firm here in Manhattan. I was doing a lot of securities litigation, which is high-end financial litigation, stock market, bank fraud, things like that. Right. And I realized I love entertainment ever since I was little, right? Like we talked about. So for me, while I was at my firm, I started getting the contacts, meeting people. The main obstacle, if I had to name one, I've had 2 decades doing this business, is that folks think things are going to come to them.
Yep.
And they're not, right? This idea of grinding is a 24/7 thing, right?
Right.
Ever since I was young, ever since I was getting my clients, I was knocking on doors, waiting outside offices, not taking no for an answer. But a lot of people in entertainment today want it quick. And it's like, look at me, I'm so great, you're going to come to me. It doesn't work that way, right? So where are the relationships? Where's the relationship building, right? Do you have integrity in your art? Do you have integrity in your music, right?
Yeah.
So the biggest obstacle, to answer your question, was that it's the idea that if I'm good, things will come my way. It doesn't work that way. Hit the pavement, grind 24/7. With my experience and everything that I've done, I'm in the office till midnight, 1 a.m. Why? Because I'm getting ahead. I'm creating opportunity, right? So the obstacle is when you believe that you're so great that everything will come to you. You have to have talent, but then you got to go get it. And that's something that I prided myself on. I teach my kids the same thing. Go get it, go get it, go get it.
So basically what you're saying is, so if just because you're talented doesn't mean you'll be successful. Just doesn't mean somebody will be sweating you because you're talented. So you have to go out there and you have to put in the grind, put in the work. You know, a lot of people, and listen to me, a lot of people, especially a lot of people today don't even understand what that terminology means, because they don't understand how it is to work for something, you know, and work years and years. Sometimes it takes 10 years to be successful.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You know, and when you actually make no money, you know, when you start a business and you don't generate funds for 10 years or more, you know, it gets to be a very difficult grind. And a lot of people don't truly understand that, because we come from an age now where everything is immediate.
Exactly.
You know, where it has to happen like this, you know? So to your point, a lot of people just don't understand that. And to salute you, if that is indeed the case, what you did, right?
Yep.
Cheers to you, right?
Cheers.
Angels and cowboys to you. Hello, right? You should be commended, because a lot of people just don't do that. So
Yeah, and you know, to that point, to all the artists that are out there, do not give up. Do not think that you can't get it done. You can, but here's the thing though, right? I represent a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of artists, a lot of businesses. One thing I see, to your point, that I think is really important to mention is this idea that I need to hire people for everything.
Yeah.
So imagine this, right? You start your company, you're getting it started, you're investing some money. So what do? You need a website. You hire a vendor that charges you $15,000 to $20,000 for a website. You want to know what I did for my websites when I was starting out? I took 2-3 hours to learn some of the popular sites. I learned how to do it well. I took good pictures. I did it myself in about 2.5 hours. In fact, one of my websites for my prior firm I made myself. In other words, don't spend money when you don't need to.
Absolutely.
Be frugal. It's easy to spend and hard to make. Do it yourself.
Yeah.
Read about it. Get it done. When I was starting out, I did that the entire time. When I could save a penny, I would do it. Right? And it's really key, because you realize that you know a lot more and you can do a lot. And the idea is just to put the time in and just get it done, right?
Exactly.
So to everyone out there, all the artists out there, do it yourself. Do you need some vendors for things? Absolutely. But whatever you can do yourself on the creative side, get it done, learn it, do it. It's exciting too, and you'll learn something.
Absolutely. And let's just discuss some of the hardships. One of the biggest things that I see is a lot of people say, you know, find a team to help, things of that nature. Yes, a lot of people could come and say, yes, I want to be down, or I want to join whatever project you're about, but they do not understand the etiquette and actually how, you know, that this is a brand at the end of the day. And you have to show up, and you also have to care about someone else's brand.
Right.
So I guess my point would be, what advice, I guess, do you have for the people who just don't understand teamwork?
Right. Well, Miss Ciara Ross always coming with important questions. Spot on and really, really important, right? So everything in entertainment, first of all, it's a very small world.
Yes.
Right? Everyone interacts. Everybody knows what's going on. When something happens in New York, my colleagues on the West Coast know about it, right? There's a big litigation, some issue with an artist, everyone knows about it. So to your point, to answer that, it's a really key point, which is this business, and any business, is about the relationships that you build. It's about taking care of others. If you believe you're that great, that the whole world has to be there for you and you don't have to do anything for anybody, good luck. You're not going to be successful, right? Look, in my practice, I'm a recent partner at Scarinci in New York. It's a premier entertainment shop, big law firm that handles all kinds of practice areas. My rate's high. Okay, in fact, my rate's prohibitive for a lot of folks. But what I do as a partner is I take care of people. Okay, when I see someone who is grinding and they're working and putting their heart into what they do and not expecting everything to come their way, I can make that adjustment. And I've taken care of many, many people in my life. And I'll give you an example. It always comes back to you guys. It always comes back in a positive way. When I was producing my record with my artist, I was able to collaborate with phenomenal producers, right? DJ LES of Mobb Deep, phenomenal guy, right? Ed Rush, who's another producer, he's a drum and bass phenom out of the UK. He did half the album. We all collaborate. We're family. So I take care of them. They take care of me. Whatever they need, I take care of them. T-Money, I've known you for a while. Whatever you need, you can call me. The thing is to not be focused so much on money, money, money that you forget that life and business is a relationship.
Absolutely.
Right? Take care of people. Artists, take care of people because it's going to come back to help you out, right? Yeah. And do more than everyone else does. Go above and beyond what everyone else does. Look, I've been on telephone calls for 2 hours with folks, not making $1 off of it because I sense that they're hurting. I sense that they need something. So I say, consider this. I wouldn't do it that way. Do it this way. Save your money. And that's another thing. If you're a professional and you can save your client a little bit of money, do it. If you have a suggestion, tell them, help them. Integrity and being real is what people respect.
But also, too, that artist development comes and is along, I guess, goes along with that. Because you only know that once you're being developed. You miss that journey when it's instant gratification.
Yes, and that's another great point. And here's what I'll say to that because I think it's worth mentioning. So my artist is Bella Lassay. She's a young singer-songwriter. You know how long it took me to find her?
How long?
So over a year before I decided to pull the trigger and work with her. Now, what was I looking for? Simple. Because I love music, I love entertainment, and I know music well. I've been producing for 15 years. I can hear things. I've heard a lot of vocalists in my life. But there was something that was more important than that I found in her. She was correct. She was responsible. She was a young adult that wasn't out there with drugs and drinks and this and that. Why is that important? Because if I'm putting in money, okay, and let me tell you something, artists, if you think that a couple thousand is going to get you anywhere, you're wrong. More like hundreds of thousands, right? So for an investor
especially
like
if you're
me,
a pop artist or something, it costs you a lot of money.
pop's harder, absolutely.
No question.
So
and especially in a female, because from my understanding,
females are more money.
Way more money. They're triple the cost to just manage a female.
Oh, absolutely.
But
So no, that's all right.
If I was a manager, I'd want somebody on crack. It'd be real easy for me to do it then. You know? It wouldn't cost me nothing, just a little crack, it's all good. No, I'm only
And a
joking.
whole lot of lawsuits involved and thievery.
No, I'm only kidding. But anyway,
And what's
okay.
interesting about that is that it took me that long to find her and to realize that she was the right artist because I knew that my investment was going towards a serious artist, right? So I get approached by a lot of artists. And it's almost like, I'm so great, help me out. And the answer to that is absolutely not. I'll talk to you another day because where's the humility?
Right.
Yeah.
Where's the grind? Where's the thank you? Where's the please? I do that to others. I expect people to do that to me too, right? It's courtesy. And, and this kind of goes to another kind of quick point that I think is important is this idea of integrity and courtesy is more relevant now than ever in entertainment. And you guys want to know why that is? You guys heard of AI, right?
Of course.
Right? Artificial intelligence, right? I represent companies in that space already. They're forming left and right.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to give you a quick example of why artists, established artists and new artists, have to be showing maximum integrity, courtesy, and respect to everybody. Because here's why. And I've done this 2 decades, guys, so I speak from experience. There's going to come a time when a movie production studio needs a track for a chase scene, some kind of a fight,
Love scene or something?
action, love, whatever you want. You know what's going to happen? They call an AI company. They pay them $1,500. The AI goes to the really good computer system, pushes play, and it belts out a beat.
Yep. And
I've heard the music, guys. I've heard it. I have to tell you, it's significantly good quality. Now, as an art lover and a music lover, a lot of it lacks heart because an artist brings heart, right? A computer can never bring a heart.
Of course not.
But today's beats, a lot of it are very kind of organic, and the computer does it, and boom, back. Look, I can create a trap beat in about 6 minutes, right? So I'm not putting that down because there's a lot of great artists that are in that genre. My point is that if you want to build longevity here, in the world where it's algorithms, computers, and AI, you have to more than ever foster that relationship. You have to take care of the people in your family. You have to kind of work and show them a lot of love so they show you love back, right?
Absolutely.
Look, imagine you're a production company, you know that the artist is going to be difficult. The manager is going to be difficult. They aren't going to meet a deadline, whatever it is. Well, there's going to be alternatives, guys. There's going to be alternatives to go get what you need quicker and probably cheaper. Build the relationships, continue to work on it. It's paramount.
I would love for everybody to have that attitude, but unfortunately, everybody doesn't.
Doesn't.
But and when you get involved with a brand, especially if it's a brand that you're piggybacking off of or something that's not yours in particular, you need to treat it as if it is yours. Because if say for instance you're jumping on a team, you're on a team here, and there's a couple of people, right?
Yep.
Hypothetically, and you believe in what this team is doing,
Absolutely.
you have to put your all into it as well, not just wait until they do well. You contribute at 100%, or why bother doing it? What's the point of
It's
doing
a waste
it?
of time.
Because if that brand makes it, you'll get to a point where you're able to do whatever you want to at that point. You understand? A lot of people don't do that. They don't even think down the road that way because they have no idea of what happens as it relates to putting in this type of work.
Yeah, they can't fathom the bigger picture.
Right. So, but
Right.
what I do want to ask you, real quick, Albert, as it relates to your attorney side, can you talk to us a little about, a lot of the traps and pitfalls, a lot of the rap artists and recording artists, period, fall into, and how they can avoid them as it relates to, in the '80s, I signed an agreement with Def Jam. Me and you have discussed that plenty of times, and we kind of got raped for
Most artists
some
have.
of our money, and everybody has this story. I'm not alone in that quest. So to try to help a lot of the new artists who are actually putting things together and signing contracts, how can they avoid actually falling into these traps?
Super important. Great question.
And it's not just for artists, for everyone that's watching. It's literally all entrepreneurs, models, fashion, art designers, music artists, things of that nature.
Yeah, the
So
crackheads that I
definitely
mentioned earlier. Yeah, you don't want to sign the wrong deal, y'all. You won't get your crack. Anyway, but you understand what we're saying.
No, absolutely, absolutely. So here's the best piece of advice that I can give, right? This is someone, I've litigated many cases. I have 2 decades doing this, okay? I'm the co-chair of my litigation department. I'm doing that for reasons because I know what I'm talking about. I hope everyone really understands this. Here's the bottom line. In music and in hip-hop and a lot of other genres, there's always a tendency to have family be your business manager, okay? It's your brother, your cousin, your uncle. That's beautiful if they know what they're doing.
Right.
It's not beautiful, and it's actually detrimental to the artist if they don't know what they're doing. Look, I had a negotiation once where there was a good deal on the table with a hip-hop artist. And it turns out that they said, oh, listen, I want you to talk to my business manager. I said, beautiful. Is it an attorney? Is it someone in the business? Do I know them? No, they'll call you. All right. I get on the phone, and it turns out that the first thing they said to me was, oh, I don't understand. Why do you own the masters? And I thought, why do I own the masters? I'm counsel and representative of an artist. I have nothing to do with the masters. And then it clicked, and I said, my friend, let me ask you a question. Do you know the difference between a sound recording and a composition? Yeah, it's a song. I go, no, it's not. Do you know what publishing is? Well, yeah, the song. No, it's not. Nope. So what I realized there is I'm wasting my time, and my time isn't cheap, working on a situation where it's going to take me 3 months to get this person to understand the business. And I'm not here to teach for nothing on a deal that I brought.
Right? Absolutely.
So that went away. So here's the thing. Don't stop from investing a couple of dollars on things that actually matter. Proper representation on the legal matters. Look, in the olden days and even now, I can tell you right now, recording agreements are extremely complicated. Extremely. I can tell you right now that copyrights in music is among the most difficult area of law that I've experienced. And I've litigated financial and securities litigations for decades, and those are tough. So here's the thing. If you don't really understand the terms and your business team doesn't know the business, you're harming yourself to save a couple dollars. If you call somebody like me and say, listen, you know what? I don't have all the money in the world, man, but I'm hungry. I want your help. Here's what we can do. I have promise. Talk to me. I'll work it out with you because it matters, because it makes a difference, right? But don't cheat yourself by having a team that does not understand this business, right? So on the recording contracts, here's the best piece of advice I can give all artists out there. And I say it with a lot of care because it's super important. The recoupables, right? So the amounts of money that labels can recoup from an artist earning before an artist gets paid. Okay? That's called recoupment.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of the most controversial and delicate and careful things that you have to look at in any recording agreement. I'll give you an example. When I draft recording agreements like this, I try to be innovative in what I do to benefit the artist, benefit the client. So here's the thing. If I sign with a label and they film a video for me, I see the video and I say, oh, it's okay. Not great, it's good. No problem.
Mm-hmm.
Then I look at my statement, it says 1.2 million.
Yep. It's an
Now look,
advancement.
For Beat Street Music Group, I shoot my own videos. I fund my own videos. They look phenomenally good, and I can tell you they're not costing $1 million, right? So what happens is when you're not careful about the contract and the recoupment, is there's no limit to what can be recouped. And you also don't have to show receipts. So the 1.2 million was probably paid to the in-house marketing and videography team. So the label itself didn't come out of pocket at all for anything. They put a line item and they put 1.2, 1.3. I'm not saying everybody. There's a lot of great professionals out there. I'm saying that what I've seen in my experience is you have to be careful with the recoupables. For example, you could suggest that the label show you third-party receipts, right? In other words, hold the label up to a standard. If you're going to claim that you paid 1.2, show me. And then I'm fine repaying you. So these are little things that artists don't know, that the representatives sometimes don't know.
Show me the money. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Show me the money right now.
When the label shows artists the money,
show me.
What happens, right?
Right.
When the label show the artist the money, they're so kind of like, oh my God, this is great, that they forget what's underneath that offer.
Exactly.
Right?
Absolutely.
If I don't want you to read a contract, look what happened with Death Row, Tupac, and all that, right?
Mm-hmm. TLC, is the list can go on and on.
Tupac got out of prison and got an incredible car, right? And then you have to deal with contracts after that, right? So artists, don't get blinded by any of that. Focus on your contract, focus on the business, because it secures the next 10, 20 years of your career, right? Don't take a little money up front and take a short end on the back, right? Anyway, have proper counsel. Let us help. Have people in your corner that know what they're doing.
Right. Okay. That answers that question. Very good. Thank you so much. I know you started Beat Street Music Group, BSC. Congratulations to you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's talk a little about Bella. Her Bad Boy single is very hot. I love the video. The video is amazing. Havoc is on that, right?
Yeah.
Peace out to Havoc. What's on the horizon for her project? Talk to me.
All right. So Beat Street Music Group was formed. I've always had a dream, right, to create a label. I'm in the business.
Yeah, that's right.
There you go.
That's my hat. I'm sorry.
T-Money's hat. And I developed it with a lot of care, a lot of passion for what I do. I've been producing for 15 years. I know the music. So I kind of wanted to create an album that was two halves of a different type of vibe, right? So half the album is produced by DJ LES, LaShawn Lewis of Mobb Deep fame, phenomenal guy, incredible producer, responsible for huge hits, Jennifer Lopez, you name it, he's done it. And that's one half of the tracks, and the other half of the tracks is a producer named Ben Settle. He goes by Ed Rush. He's out of the UK, and he's a huge drum and bass guy. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with drum and bass a little bit.
Yes.
Very loud, very heavy, shows in front of 20,000 people with lasers and drums and all this, right? So it's not the genre that I love, but I heard a lot of genius in what he was doing. So we met at my studio in Jersey. He heard some acapellas, right? And I said, Ben, listen, cross over and try something different, because I love what you do. And I was always hearing some melodic stuff in his tracks anyway, and I thought, try it. He was inspired. He went back and came back with like 6 or 7 tracks that are crazy. So about 5 or 6 of the tracks are Ed Rush, 5 or 6 are LES. The album is going to drop in April of this year. We're going to have a record release in New York. Right now, the single that came out first was Bad Boy featuring Havoc. Props to Havoc. I appreciate you. Thank you. Havoc's like family to me. He's a great guy. Came up strong and did a phenomenal verse on the track. We have a second single that came out called Over and Under. We have like 60,000 streams in a matter of days. Wow. It's my favorite song on the album. So we have an album of 13 singles. I stand behind it. I put everything into it. And Bella is a phenomenal vocalist. She writes songs in 15 minutes. I mean, she has a gift for writing.
Where's Bella from?
So Bella's from California, Los Angeles, and I flew out there, talked to her family about a year and a half ago. We discussed the vision that we had for her and her sound, and anyone who's working with artists, let them have their voice, let them have their songwriting. Do not interfere with that passion and that love that comes out on the songs. So I handle more of, obviously, an executive producer, but I handle more of the on the music and the beat side. So I'll work with the producers. I'll give suggestions on a few things here or there. They're the experts, right? But if I can give a little suggestion here or there, I'll do that. Bella's a wonderful young lady. She's responsible, respectful. Her family is totally behind her. We've had sessions where we've had to go in the studio to finish songs at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. with a flight at 7. She's ready to go, working hard. But I can guarantee this, and this is something that we should talk about because you mentioned it, how difficult it is to be heard. The most frustrating thing in this business is that you have an extremely talented artist who can outdo, if not match, the majority of artists that are out there, and I really believe that. And if you don't believe me, go listen and you'll see what I'm talking about. And you have to still battle and struggle to be heard. Now, I have 2 decades in this business. I have a lot of contacts in this business. And it doesn't make it easier for me. It's the same thing, right? So I want to finish up that little segment by saying props to Bella. Really appreciate her artistry, her
Where
skill.
can we find her music?
So Bella is on all major platforms. Spotify, go to her YouTube channel. It's Bella Lysee, which is BellaLysee, Bella Lysee. And there's 3 singles right now, and there's also 3 videos. The last video dropped last week. It's doing really well. I know that you guys will love it. Give it a chance. New music, nobody likes to listen to new music. Nobody. And look, I'm guilty of that too, right? Yeah. I get calls all day long from new artists, listen to my stuff, and I have to say, without being disrespectful to anything or anyone.
I don't
want to, but when I do, I'm very disappointed, okay? I'm very disappointed. I have to say it, and I feel passionate about this because pay attention to the mastering, folks. Get your songs professionally mastered. Focus on the quality of the sound that you're giving. Look, I had a young artist come up to me the other day and says, Albert, listen, you don't need the labels anymore. I said, why is that? I'm curious. Well, because you have internet and YouTube. I said, my friend, you know who else does? 10 million other people. What happens is there are 40 to 50,000 songs uploaded per day. Yeah. Okay? Out of those, 99% of them are okay good, and about 80 are poorly mastered and poorly produced. What that does for everyone else is it clogs that area so that the folks who actually put in a different level of care can't come up.
They get lost in the sauce.
The analogy I always give is you take this bottle here, right? For everyone to see. Here's the hole. Here's all the songs underneath. This doesn't change, but this does. Now you have more artists. To get out of this hole now in a crowded space is much more difficult, right? So the new industry comes up. What is it? It's algorithms and computers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? I have spent a lot of money promoting, okay?
Yes, marketing is very, very important.
Amounts that are probably prohibitive for a lot of folks to spend.
Well, that's why the Super Bowl is what, 3 million for 10 seconds commercial or something like that?
And that's at a level that's just crazy. But I'll give you guys an example, right? When the major labels release a single, they spend between 60 and 70,000 to get on the good playlist on Spotify. Now you tell me what independent artist can drop that?
Nobody.
Right.
I can't afford that.
So then you go to the third-party providers. There's a lot of
independent.
Right, and there's a lot of good service providers that'll do what's called pushing a link. What does that mean? That means that they'll do the SEO, they'll do the internet searches, and they'll push the link to your product. But here's the thing: you want to push a link properly? $5,000, $3,500, $4,000, one song, 1 month.
Yeah.
So what it is it's very prohibitive. So you have to have the artist go grind it out. Bella goes to the clubs. We got these really cool cards made with her picture and scan code, right? So I try to think outside the box. You show someone a card, there's a scan code. Put your phone on it. It goes right to the music, right? Mm-hmm. Don't be afraid to get out there. Go to the clubs. Talk to the DJs. You will not be disappointed. Play this. Oh, hello, how are you? I'm so-and-so. Do you mind? No, you don't do that. You're going to love it. Go, play it. In fact, do it right now so I can hear it. Be a salesman of your own music and your own art.
Sometimes you have to be aggressive to make it make sense and to make it work for you.
Absolutely.
It also depends on if you want to be a fly-by-night artist or if you want to have longevity. Because if you look at the history, which we can't rewrite, majority of longevity artists have did certain things.
Right.
You know, not just hey, we just uploaded something. Majority of them either carried crates, was a former DJ of some sort to get some type of other knowledge or a part of a group, and then they separated and went on, but they're still legendary. So, you know, unlike, you know,
I could sum that up in one word. That's consistency.
Absolutely.
You have to be consistent. I mean, that's in this business. You have to remain consistent, and as it grows, you know, you really have to be consistent because you can't take breaks. You know,
you can't.
It's not like artists can't be like Michael Jackson, how you could take 2 years and then come out with another album. It doesn't work like that now.
For sure.
You know?
And you know, another thing on that point that's really key is you have to really live what you do.
Yeah.
I believe in that really strongly. Me as an attorney in entertainment, I have to live what I do. So how do I do that? So how can I talk about something in an agreement in a business that I've never experienced before? So what do? I go on world tours. I go with my artists. I had the pleasure of going with Mobb Deep and Havoc on a South American tour and a European tour with DJ LES. We had Havoc and Big Noid, who's great. He rhymes a lot of Prodigy's verses. R.I.P. to Prodigy. A lot of respect.
Yeah, no question. R.I.P. to Prodigy. Don't forget that, without question.
What's great about that is that I'm seeing it firsthand. Mm-hmm. When an artist comes to me and says, this is a grind, this is what happens, I've lived it.
Yep.
I've been sitting there sweating at night. I'm carrying the shirts. I'm working with the venues that don't want to pay. I'm standing up to them and saying, you pay right now, we're going to have a serious problem, this artist is gone. Yep. I go toe-to-toe. So then when someone comes to me, I can speak about it. I'm not reading about it. I've actually lived it. That's what makes professionals different. Mm-hmm. I can speak about things in my industry intelligently.
Yeah, you have a point of reflection because you've done it before.
Right.
You know, just like in my career, I'm famous for telling everybody I've done everything in this business except actually work in a record store. Wow. So I mean, I've done it all. So when you're speaking to me as it relates to certain things, like when I'm sitting here for this whole interview, and salute to you, by the way, because your knowledge is infinite. I mean, we could probably talk for the next hour. You know,
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank
you know, I've always been intrigued by when you speak, so I learn a lot. But with that being said, I mean, I can understand what you're talking about. I can understand having reflection on what you've done and being able to speak on it because you've actually done it.
Lived it. Yeah.
You know, and I don't want to harp on. You know, I'm not the type of person that wants to harp on the fact that it's the younger generation. It's just about people who just are ignorant to knowing what to do in business now.
Right.
Business has changed. The music business has changed so immensely. It's ridiculous. You know, it's more immediate. You know, anybody can make a hit record today. You know, but a lot of the things that are standards or stay standard. To piggyback off of what you were saying, have the proper representation. Know exactly what you want out of the business. You know, having a good brand, having good people working with you. You understand that believe in your brand. Yeah. You know, if I'm a person that's trying to get on, and I want to be down with Beat Street Entertainment, right? So I help you because I have a specialized skill. Maybe I know marketing very well.
Right.
Maybe I know how to be a great assistant. Maybe I know how to do whatever. So I'm going to ride your wave. I could have a prior agenda, but if you get on, what do you think? I'm not going to be able to do my prior agenda once you're successful. I have to help you be successful. That's how this works.
Absolutely.
You know, and people don't tend to understand it. You know, because people don't give their all when, I'm doing what he wants to do. No, or she wants to do. No, you're part of a machine that's working. So you have to continuously do that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know? And one person's success on your team is everyone's success, right? I've always had this.
If you're working as a team.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And,
without question.
You know, I'm the first person that loves when people succeed. And that's another thing. There's a lot of haters out there, right? Human nature, I almost feel like, is to hate first, right? That's just my personal thought. Now, remember, I come from a litigation background, 2 decades litigating. I've seen the ugliest things possible in human nature, right? So I try to remain positive. The reality is protect yourself, have the right agreements, but also remember that have your team win. My gosh, if your team wins, you win. They want to work harder. They want to work better.
Exactly.
Show love to people. My gosh, you'll get it back. I'm telling you this.
And speaking of winning, for those who might not have the necessary knowledge in NRTs and NFTs and cryptos, can you share some light a little bit on that? Because a lot of us are very unsure, and I know you're experienced in that field.
Yeah, so you're talking about NFTs and crypto.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we'll put crypto aside for a little bit, only because I will comment on it. But you mentioned something about A&R, which goes right to this NFT point.
Perfect.
Look, in the olden days, what would happen, right? You had a great talent. The record label would say to you, you know what, T-Money, you have a future. I love what you do. Let's develop you. Sign you to an agreement, 10 years developing. Best producers, you got vocal coaches, you got facilities, beat makers, you name it, you got it. Looking for T-Money sound. Developing a great sound, and then you put it out and you had success. That's gone and gone. It doesn't exist.
Exactly.
What it is now is the quick dollar. It's the quick single that's already hitting. The number one single on college radio will probably be bought by a label. The label puts it out, they make their cheddar, and then it's done. The artist is shelved. That's bad for the business. It's bad for the industry. You're not developing a great artist, which is why when I did my label, I focus on the artist. Let's develop the artist. Let's make the artist great, give them the tools they need. So today you have to be a little more savvy, artist. You can't rely on a big label to come and knocking at your door. Not with 40,000 songs being uploaded today. Not with 10 million artists on YouTube, right? Differentiate yourself. Make yourself different. One way to do that is this NFT market that's come up, right? Now, an NFT really is kind of a digital type of marketing, digital type of currency that exists. It's related to crypto a little bit, but not really. Crypto's a little bit different.
Okay.
What NFT allows you to do is it allows you to market your music in a very modern digital way. For example, you could have fans that purchase an NFT that you create. It could be your image. It could be Bella's image on a digital screenshot, let's say on my phone, right? But that gets sold. And when someone buys that, they get special perks. For example, they may get to go to the record release. They may get a signed copy of an album when it comes out. They may get a signed poster or a picture. They may be able to get a meet and greet. So that's up to the artist to be creative on what they want to offer. But it allows you to try to obtain a different source of revenue. So think of it as a digital marketing asset. It could be a picture. It could be, there are even folks that are selling copyrights to their music as digital currency. And
So
NFTs
in
as
layman terms, we'll put it like this. Back in the day when you bought and purchased the real CD, that it had the covers and the layers versus when you went on a street and got it for 2 for $5 from the bootleg man and you missed all of those things. So how I computed it is the NFT is similar to you actually going out and purchasing the real CD and you're getting the extra little perks that come along with it. You actually get to read the credits and the extra pictures and things like that.
Right. So the extra perks are whatever the
It's
artist.
the new way.
Yeah, it's the new way. But an NFT is actually, it's called a non-fungible token. What that means is non-fungible means non-transferable, right? And it's placed on something called the blockchain, right? So the blockchain, imagine a huge super network of every computer in the world with code all throughout the world. And what NFTs do is they are placed on this blockchain so that they're unique. There's only one, right? Now, there are something called smart contracts and other contracts where you can transfer those to some extent. You can assign royalties to records on NFTs. But the main point about them is that they're placed on a ledger on what's called the blockchain. What's good about that is that you can't falsify that fingerprint. Imagine a unique fingerprint in a computer. And I know it gets right. Complicated, but imagine a super network of computers with unique IDs. My NFT is on the blockchain at this ID. There's only one. There are not two. So the purchaser of that NFT owns something unique. Yep. And that uniqueness comes with a perk, whatever the artist wants to give. And again, it could even be ownership of the record, right? People are doing that as well. People are releasing entire albums as NFTs now. But I will say that NFTs were really hot, maybe like 6 months ago. They've cooled down a little bit. It's not as hot as it was. And there's also, on the crypto side, there's new regulations that are coming out. Cryptos are securities. They're going to be determined probably securities under the law. Securities are like stocks, right? So when you offer an NFT in crypto, you are getting into the securities law space. A lot of celebrities have actually been already, they've caught cases already. They've been, they've had cases litigated against them. For example, a lot of the popular influencers that were pushing a lot of the crypto companies that then went bankrupt, so they get sued for endorsing crypto, which is a security under the securities laws. So you're dealing with, I wrote a blog about this actually last week. Celebrity endorsers have to be careful about cryptocurrencies because they are securities under the law, or at least the trend is going that way. Right. So without knowing it, you sit there and you endorse a crypto company, they go bankrupt, and then they come to you and say, wait a minute, Celebrity X was sitting here saying that it was great and they made millions, and they didn't register that. They didn't say that they were doing that. So the SEC will come all over you. You do not want to mess with the Securities Exchange Commission. Be careful.
Wow.
I said too much.
Wow.
Okay, there you
yes. No, we don't need no one looking in.
That's right.
A little too much. A little too much.
Let's move on from that conversation.
Oh, that's
So
amazing.
blockchain, like Bertha's belt, blockchain. She was a size 50. Anyway, Bertha from high school, her belt was. Anyway, we'll talk about that another time. But Albert, listen, great having you on, brother.
Thank you.
so
Listen
much.
to me. Tell everybody out there with it. There's your camera right there. I want you to tell everybody where they can reach you if they need legal advice, where they can holler at you, and if they want to talk about Beat Street Music Group, anywhere that they can reach you for whatever they need. Not selling crack because you don't sell crack.
No.
What's up with them and crack today?
I'm sorry. I just want to make sure we're a crack-free environment. We don't do that. But go ahead.
Yeah, I need my earmuffs.
Let them go, brother.
Well, first of all, thank you. Up really cool guests with a lot of informative information. As for me, artists, come from your heart, have passion in what you do, grind 24/7. If you need my help, I'll work with you the best that I can. Show some passion and love. We'll work it out. No big deal.
Don't waste his time.
Yes, don't waste my time.
His
please.
time is money, bro.
So I'm a partner at Scarinci here in New York. We are the premier entertainment department, and we'll take good care of you guys. As far as Bella and Beat Street, please check out her music. Go to YouTube, Bella Lysee, at Bella Lysee, BellaLysee, or you can go online and check it out, Beat Street Music Group, Beat Street Entertainment. My Instagram is at Albert Soler Esquire, ALBERT SOLERESQ. Whatever you guys need, I'm there. We'll make it work. T-Money, thank you. Ms. Ciara Ross, thank you guys. Really appreciate it.
That's what's up, man. This has been the T-Money Podcast. Join my man Albert Soler, the greatest advice of all time. Trust me, we're doing our thing here.
Hey.
Salute, man. Salute.
Thank you,
brother.
Thank you.
T-Money Podcast. Join